What's going on, guys? This is going to be a little bit different style video than I've done before, but basically I'm going to take you through my transformation and how I went from being the fat kid that people made fun of to the version of myself that exists today. A total physical and mental transformation. So I'm going to show you the step-by-step process that I took to get from point A to point B, and I'm going to show you how you can do it as well. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think, and I hope this helps.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is Ian Clifton. Today I'm going to be taking you through the system that I developed that allowed me to transform my physique and essentially my entire life. So I call it the Verto Blueprint. Vertum is Latin for to transform, so literally the transformation blueprint. This is for those of you who maybe aren't quite where you want to be. You feel called to a higher level. You know that you're cut out for more deep down. So let's get straight into it. My personal transformation, for reference, I'm 5'9". In this image, I was 203.4 pounds. I was fat. I was depressed. I was lazy. I was unmotivated. And I knew that. I was made fun of by my friends and even my family. And what hurt the most was the internal knowing that my actions and my discipline and my body didn't reflect the internal vision that I had always had of myself. The vision of myself that I had always dreamed of being. And so I started working out. I started lifting. I started doing my cardio. I started tracking my nutrition. And I got pretty shredded. I got down to 176 pounds in this photo after putting some muscle mass back on and losing some fat, and really built myself a solid foundation in an anabolic environment to pack on 20 pounds of lean muscle over the next 2 years. So from July 2022 to May 2024, I added 20 pounds of lean muscle mass to my frame. So who this is for? This is for hard workers. If you're a hard worker who understands the value of discipline, consistency, and work ethic, this is for you. If you're ready for a change, you're tired of starting over, tired of being stuck, tired of, not taking action and ready to quit being average, this is for you. If you're seeking simplicity, you want something that's easy to follow. You want something that's time conscious, that has structure with proven results that can be implemented into your everyday life and make you not feel overwhelmed, this is for you. And if you're seeking an identity transformation, maybe you feel lost, you don't know quite who you are or who you need to become to get to this version of yourself that you envision. You just need a little guidance and accountability. This is for you. So who this is not for? If you're seeking a quick fix, a get abs in 30 days hack, or are unwilling to commit to your own goals and adopt and adapt to a new lifestyle, this is not for you. If you're unwilling to commit a small percentage of your time to this goal of yours, this is not for you. If you seek comfort, if you're stuck in your old habits and unable to work towards building new, healthier habits that will allow you to transform your body and your mind, this is not for you. And if you lack self-belief, if you don't believe that this can actually happen and these changes can actually take place, then this is not for you. So my rock bottom was July 2020. This takes us back to the first image that I showed you. Physically, I weighed 203 roughly pounds, but the mental weight that I carried was much, much heavier. On the outside, I was just another guy, but internally, I was uncomfortable in my own skin. I was insecure, and I was constantly aware of how I looked. I was afraid to take my shirt off. I avoided swimming, I avoided photos, and I didn't like what I saw in the mirror. I was afraid in public situations that the real me would become uncovered, basically. So I was getting bullied, and I heard comments about my body, sometimes to my face and sometimes behind my back, but they hurt just as much. What hurt the most was knowing that these comments were right, knowing that I had been avoiding a part of myself for the longest time. I knew I wasn't disciplined. I knew I was inconsistent. I knew I was capable of more, but my reality didn't reflect that. My rock bottom was when I realized what I could be, and I saw the gap between who I was and who I'd eventually become. I was tired of feeling embarrassed. I was tired of hiding who I was and restarting every Monday with the same unkept promises. So July of 2020 was the moment I stopped accepting that version of myself and decided that if I wanted confidence, a better future for myself, respect, I had to build it. It wasn't just going to happen. And that started with changing my body, my habits, my standards, and most importantly, my mindset. So, what really changed? Obviously, I had an identity shift. And even up until now, I've had an identity shift. I stopped seeing myself as the victim. I became the one who keeps promises to himself. I built an iron willed mentality. If I promised myself something, I made sure it happened. I was incredibly disciplined, goal oriented. I had a vision and nothing could stop me. People laughed at me. They doubted me. They thought I couldn't do it. This is, standard behavior. The difference was I didn't care anymore. I knew I was going to do it and I went all in. My physical transformation was obviously the biggest physical change, but I started dropping weight. My muscles started to show. Arm veins started popping out. Some shoulder veins came out soon. I remember my abs, my first two top abs came out, and I was like the happiest guy in the world. But as I built structure and I developed my knowledge about optimizing health, my results started to come quicker. I was literally a sponge of information. I would take as much advice as I could get, and I just soaked up all the knowledge I could. Before long, the same ones that were laughing at me for trying to start, this is a real story. The same ones that laughed at me for trying to start and trying to get into shape were asking me for help. Basically, one individual comes to mind. I'm not going to name any names, but they were laughing at me, and later, 6 months later, they were asking me for a workout program. So my relationships with others also started to improve. I could focus more on being myself rather than trying to hide some version of myself that I was, afraid of other people seeing. My relationship with food changed. I no longer craved garbage, sugar, pizza. I was bad. I had way too much sugar, absolutely addicted to sugar, but I no longer craved that stuff anymore. I enjoyed eating a healthy portion and healthy foods that would actually fuel my success. Most men get fitness wrong. The industry myth is that a lot of people unfortunately believe is that you need to live in the gym. You need to spend 3 hours a day in the gym. You need to sacrifice all of the things that you enjoy and put your whole life on hold just to have this physique. That's not true. Fitness should support your life. It should supplement your life and build it to be something that's better than it is. It should not completely take it over. The truth that most men miss: fat loss and fitness are not about motivation. They are about structure, discipline, and consistency. What works every time in fitness is proper structured training and nutrition, an iron willed mindset, making promises to yourself basically that you will keep no matter what, and a daily movement goal to help shed some extra fat during the day. What always backfires is these fad crash diets, keto. I'm not saying it doesn't work at all. I'm just saying that it can't work sustainably for a long period of time, and it's not good for long-term results. Random workouts aren't going to get you very far anywhere either. If you're not training with structure and with accountability and actually pushing to grow, then you're not going to progress very far. And then living in the gym and extreme self-restriction, they're just going to cause burnout. You're going to crash and burn and hit, you're going to go through these spurts where you're motivated for a week and then you crash and burn and then you're motivated for a week. And that's just not good for consistent progression in the gym. So what being in shape really means, it's not all about abs and having big biceps and being shredded. That's an added benefit of it, of course, but it really on a deeper level, it means being able to show up for the people who need you the most with competence, energy, and capability. It means being a good role model and head of your family. It means being able to provide and protect for your family physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. Oh, let's go back here. So how I actually transformed. This is how it actually happened. So obviously the foundation was some weight training. I stopped working out. I started training with a purpose. I started tracking what I was doing and focused on either upping the weight, upping the reps every single time I walked in the gym to hit that particular workout. I focused on progressing every single time I walked in the gym. Cardio. A lot of people say cardio kills gains. That couldn't be farther from true. Excessive cardio without any sort of strategy can slow gains down, but cardio does not kill gains. Short intentional sessions actually support muscle growth and fat loss. And so they don't really interfere with each other if it's structured and intentional. Nutrition is the real game changer here. If you don't have your nutrition dialed in, you might as well not have your weight training and your cardio dialed in, because you are not going to get very far, if this is off. If nutrition is off, you might as well just quit doing your cardio and weight training altogether. But what I did is I stopped guessing and I started tracking. I made sure it was locked in. I hit my protein target. I controlled my calories, and I focused on simple, repeatable meals instead of extremes. Then accountability and discipline. I was honest with myself. I showed up even when I didn't feel motivated. There's no shortcuts in this game. There's no starting over every Monday. It's just straight structure, discipline, and stacking small daily wins. So the Verto Blueprint, the system that I built for transformations. It starts with the foundation phase. This phase is about getting lean. It sets the framework for the transformation. Excess body fat is cut off, and it starts you with a good foundation to build muscle in the ascension phase. The ascension phase is focused on building lean muscle with precision and control. It's about maximizing growth while maintaining balance, creating a stronger, more refined physique. Going from the foundation phase to the ascension phase, here you're in a calorie deficit, so you're losing weight slowly but controlled while retaining as much muscle as possible. And then we start slowly reversing the calories, and this will optimize growth during the ascension phase. So here you're in a deficit, we'll slowly reverse them into a surplus, and now you're growing into an anabolic environment. And then the mastery phase is about locking those results in and making your transformation sustainable. It focuses on consistency, smart habits, and keeping your body strong, lean, and resilient. So a little more about the foundation phase. What we're aiming for is 7 to 10% body fat. Now, this is done with a purpose. Getting lean before entering a growth phase is intentional. When body fat is lower, the body partitions nutrients more efficiently, meaning more of the incoming calories are directed toward muscle repair and growth rather than excess fat storage. This creates a superior anabolic environment, improves insulin sensitivity, and sets the physiological conditions necessary for controlled, high-quality muscle gain. The foundation phase is not just about looking lean, although it's very nice to look lean and have a cool six-pack and have a bunch of visible veins popping out everywhere. It's more so about engineering your body to respond at its highest level for the transformation phase that follows, which takes us to the ascension phase. This is about controlled muscle growth. Your strength will skyrocket. This is a growth phase designed to maximize lean muscle development while maintaining control and precision. Your strength's going to increase rapidly as your body's fueled more. You're starting to take in more calories. You're going to have more energy. Your body's working at its peak capacity. Your training intensity will rise. Progressive overload will become aggressive but controlled. Your physique begins to noticeably expand and harden. This is where your frame fills out. Your lifts climb. You get stronger. A new version of you begins to emerge. The ascension phase is where disciplined preparation turns into undeniable physical evolution. Then we have the mastery phase. This is where your transformation becomes permanent. This phase is designed to solidify your results and transition the process from a structured program into a sustainable long-term lifestyle. Calories, training volume, and recovery are balanced to maintain strength and muscle while preserving a lean athletic physique. More importantly, this is where the principles behind your success are fully understood and internalized. The focus shifts toward consistency, refined habits, and long-term decision-making that keeps your body strong, lean, and resilient year-round. The mastery phase ensures that your results are not temporary milestones, but a new standard that you maintain with confidence and control. So the 4 pillars of the Verto Blueprint. This is really what the Verto Blueprint is built upon. And that's progressive structured training, training with intent, training with purpose, training to grow. Precise nutrition is about eating and controlling your intake for the goal or for the phase that you are in. This is about, whether it's fat loss, muscle growth, or maintenance, your caloric intake, your macronutrient balance, and your nutrient timing. They're strategically aligned to help optimize recovery, your hormone function, and your body composition. Lighting the internal fire. True transformation begins in here and in here. not, from the external, but the internal. It's about your identity. Lighting the fire within is the moment the internal switch flips, the spark that ignites the mindset required to raise your personal standards, build discipline, and execute consistently at a higher level. And then performance accountability. Results are driven by ownership and measurable standards. Staying true to yourself, staying honest to yourself is a must. Through tracking, feedback, and data driven adjustments, performance accountability ensures execution stays sharp and progress never stalls. So, the non negotiables. This is stuff that you'll be doing every day within the Verto Blueprint. You're going to be hitting your daily step target. This will help you burn excess unwanted fat throughout the day. It's actually where your body burns the most calories throughout the day. You'll be tracking your intake. If you're tracking and you're staying true to what you're eating every single day and being aware of what you consume, that will create accountability and drive progress. You're completing your training. You're training with intent. You're training, intensely. You're recovering. You're focusing on your sleep and your hydration, keeping that water intake high. Communicate honestly with me, with others, with yourself especially. That's the only way to track real progress and make needed adjustments. And then radical consistency. Transformations are built on repeated execution over time. That is a fact. So what makes the Verto Blueprint stand out? Well, for starters, it's built around you. It's not a template. It's not a cookie cutter program. It's not a one size fits all plan. It's individualized based on your specific starting point, your lifestyle. Maybe your job has an effect on how many calories you burn, and your individual goals. It's a system designed to guarantee progress. Every element from start to finish, training, accountability, nutrition, it's engineered to ensure that you move forward toward your goals and you don't stall. It's a long-term physique and personal development system. It's built on, obviously the four pillars, but it's really designed to have you be able to maintain that for a long period of time. And then there's direct coaching and accountability. You work directly with me, ensuring consistent feedback, adjustments, and support every step along the way. Most programs will give you maybe like a PDF document of, a workout program or a PDF nutrition plan that they probably copy and paste online. The Verto Blueprint seriously delivers a transformation system. So my transformation guarantee, if you execute the Verto Blueprint and you stick to the training and nutrition programs exactly as written, you work hard, you're staying honest with yourself and with others, and you still don't lose 10% of your body weight or achieve an agreed upon physique goal within 180 days, I will continue to coach you for free until you reach that point. And I stand behind this fully because I know with 100% certainty that this system works when executed properly. So the version of you that will emerge after the Verto Blueprint, within 90 days, you'll see your body starting to shift. You'll be leaner, you'll be stronger, you'll be more energized, your confidence will be through the roof because you're showing up for yourself. You're sticking to a plan. You're stacking small victories and creating momentum that you can feel every single day. Within 180 days, your body is noticeably transformed and your clothes fit differently. Strength, stamina, and focus are no longer goals. They're part of your daily routine. You start to see yourself as someone who actually achieves what they commit to rather than someone who waits. In a year, you've built a version of yourself that others notice and respect. Your habits are second nature. Your results are consistent and undeniable. This is no longer a phase. It's the new baseline for who you are. And then for your lifetime, the changes you've made aren't temporary. They define your lifestyle, your health, and your confidence forever. You move, eat, and live with purpose without having to try anymore. This is the lifelong version of you, strong, capable, and unstoppable. The cost of waiting. Every month you wait to take control of your fitness, the gap between who you are and who you could be gets wider. This is absolutely true. The truth is there will never be a perfect time to get started. Your rent's always going to be due. There's always going to be, a car problem, problems with your relationship. Who knows what it could be? There's just never going to be that exact moment that's like, oh yeah, now's the perfect time. When was the last time you caught yourself saying now's the perfect time? Never. especially for something like this. Waiting means another 30, 60, or 90 days of feeling uncomfortable in your own body, avoiding photos, covering up at the beach, and telling yourself you'll start soon. The truth is, most people don't fail because they can't transform. They fail because they wait too long to start. The longer you stay stuck in the same habits, the harder they become to break. Procrastination means lost momentum. Meanwhile, the people who decide to take action today are the ones who are leaner, stronger, and more confident 3 months from now and completely transformed in a year. So the real question isn't whether you can afford coaching, it's whether you can afford another year of being in the exact same place you are right now. Because the real cost of waiting isn't just time, it's the version of yourself that you never become. See, guys, that's just the difference between the people who decide to change their life trajectory right now versus the ones who say they'll start next Monday. So if you're ready to begin your transformation, you're tired of guessing with your workouts, guessing with your nutrition on where you should be, tired of starting over every few weeks, and tired of feeling like you're capable of more, but never quite getting there, this may be the turning point that you've been looking for. If you're ready to stop relying on motivation alone and start executing a proven system designed to transform your body, build discipline, and create real momentum in your life, then you're exactly who this program is built for, because that was me, and that's why I built this program. So here's what to do next. Click the link below, book a strategy call with me. During this call, we'll review your current situation, meaning like where you currently are, identify what's been holding you back, and then map out the most effective and efficient path towards your transformation. From there, we'll determine whether the Verto Blueprint is the right fit for you, because it's not for everyone. And if it's not for you, I will point you in the right direction. If it is for you and it is for your goals, then your transformation awaits you, my friend. I can't wait to talk to you guys. I appreciate you guys watching this whole video, and I look forward to hearing from you.